All right, here we are, another week around the trash fire. Your host Mathias, along with the boy.
John.
Well, GW has definitely put out a lot of point updates and rule updates this week.
Yeah, you'd have to educate me. Kind of miss that stuff.
Well, I mean, I can educate you on the stuff that I know. The other
There
stuff,
you go.
I don't know too much about.
There you go.
But I think we should start with the most boring thing, right? Which is the Sunday preview. So let's just jump into that. So the biggest paint launch in years, which I thought when they redid the whole paint pots, I thought that was the biggest launch, but whatever, it's fine.
Contrast was huge, but that was a
It,
while ago.
that was only like 5 paints though.
Contrast?
I know I'm being a
It was
I'm
no, it wasn't.
underselling it, but
I think it was like three contrast paints. Everything else sucks.
I see. Well, we're getting more contrast paints. So I don't know anyone who would. I mean, I guess if they just want the easy stuff, right? This is what it's supposed to be. It's just to make your life easier. But I don't really know anyone who's gonna just go out and buy this entire bundle.
I mean, I want to, but I don't. Just because, like, I think I mentioned. I'm not sure if I mentioned this before when this was announced, but I'm looking at these paints, and for the record, I bought the whole contrast launch, and that was great because I use those paints all the time. But I just can't see much use for me with these paints because they're mostly just different shades of existing colors, which is great. That's fine, right? I'm sure there's a use for it. I'm not saying it's pointless. It's a good launch. Just for me, like I don't really necessarily need another shade of red because for me when I do contrast, I'm just thinking, okay, I need a red. I'm gonna paint red, or I need a green, like a dark green. Okay, dark green. But these ones, like, there's really, like, I don't know what the difference between. I still don't know the difference between. Okay, I do know the difference between Ball Red and Mephiston and Blood Angels Red, but I don't know when I would use that. Right? I guess it's a preference thing. Like, oh, like I wish my red was a little lighter. But like right now, I have Ball Red. I just actually just bought a pot of it, and sorry, of a Blood Angels Red, the current one, and it's like, this worked for my purposes. I don't think I want the new one necessarily. Even the Black Legion paint, like I have Black Templar. I like it. I can't think of a use for the other one.
Yeah,
So
it's kind of weird that they're updating previous pots.
yeah, there's like slightly different shades, which again is good. I'm glad it exists, and some people, and I'm sure, and someday I will want one of these pots. But
You'll
right
have a
now,
use
today's
for it.
not the day. Yeah, today's not the day, and I don't see myself craving these anytime soon. So I think I'll pass on this release.
You just wait. You're gonna find that one model and you'll be like, I could really use some of those new contrast paints right about now.
Yeah.
But I'm on the same boat with you. Nothing for me to go and scream out and get. And then of course in action all the contrast paints,
Yep.
which they've shown off before. Got that, the shades.
Same thing with the shades. I can't think of a reason why I necessarily want these ASAP. Maybe I need to watch more tutorials to see where I would use them, but right now, don't really. Can't think of a use for these.
Are shades the new wash?
Yeah, same thing. It's just they just name it differently.
Okay. Hmm. I'm trying to think. What would I use it for? I can't really think of anything myself. Not yet, at least. But we'll see. And then the white scar spray, supposed to be better than its current form, which I hope to God it is, because it always gets chalky near the end, or even in the middle of its life cycle.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping that this is a lot better.
It's probably gonna be a lot better. That'd be great.
It better be. I mean, it's like $20 a spray can, so it's very expensive to get.
I do
Like,
know that GW spray cans are the most idiot-proof spray cans I've worked with. I mean, yeah, you like the $3 ones from Walmart work, but those ones, if the weather is not right, or if you really overspray, then it could really cause some issues. It's one of those things where if you know how to use it, it's worth it. It's way cheaper, but the Citadel sprays, from my experience, I can turn my brain off and not worry,
mhm.
and it won't bite me in the butt.
Yeah, I haven't. Besides the white spray can, I haven't really had many problems with GW spray cans. But moving on from that, Necromunda, we got transfer sheets for everyone who's into transfer sheets. I am not one of those people. I don't think I've ever used a transfer sheet in my
Really,
entire
I've used
army.
them. I've used them.
I think once I get done with like the painting part, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I don't need to add any more detail.
It's not for everyone, but I think for 30K blank spaceman shoulder pads, to me now I need to put something there.
Hmm.
So, but for even for necro, I think of the necro. I guess for the vehicles because there's more spot surfaces, but for the regular necro models, there's not really a lot of space for transfers. Maybe Pala Knights, the cops, because they have those circles on their chests, but it's about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're getting that, and then the White Dwarf 478. Actually, I didn't look at this. Let's see what we get here. New rival decks for Underworlds. Kill team enhanced terrain rules. And that seems to be about it. I don't know about the Horse Heresy Fate of Barbaros. I assume that's going to be some kind of like campaign mission you can do scenario.
I wonder if what the extent that would be. Where it could be a yeah, it could be a campaign thing. I'd have to look at a review to see if I want to get it.
Hmm. But not too much from that interests me. Blood Bowl, yep, it's just garbage, just trophies, old school trophies, I assume. Got that. Got old Beastmen models and whatever. Yeah, Beastmen and rats. Horus Heresy. We're getting, what is this? Iron Warriors and Dark
Yeah.
Angels.
These Iron Warrior trophies are interesting because these are for the old kits. This is not for the new kit because the new kit the legs are attached to the body.
Mhm.
So these are for the old Mark III, Mark IV, and it's interesting because it's made to order. So I think it's made to order the symbol.
Yeah, it's made to order.
Yeah, so it's interesting that it's not going to be not the range item. But I mean, hey, these are cool. If you don't like transfer, these are great. Just paint the symbol.
Paint the symbol. That's all you need to do. No extra work. Then you get the shoulder pads. Black Library, Soul Slayer. This is
Godric and Felix, or just
Godric.
Godric. Felix
Yeah,
is still yet to be found
it'll be found one day.
one day.
And that's it for that. That gives an audiobook. And then in terms of Warhammer Plus, we got more 30k battle reports. Really wanting to show it off.
Yep.
And another episode of Interrogator, which I've yet to still see.
Yeah, I need to watch that. Maybe I'll watch it tonight.
I feel like I'm gonna watch all the Warhammer Plus stuff in one go, just because they're not too much. You know, when I think all the series are out, like Cameron Bolter and Exodite's done. The Blood Angel one's done. Interrogator, I would assume, is coming to a close soon.
Yeah.
I would expect like maybe 3, hopeful for 5 more episodes maybe. So I think I'm gonna just wait because I mean we're coming up on that year, so I'll sit down, binge watch all the year content and see how I would rate the Warhammer Plus series so far.
Right.
But that is it for Warhammer Plus, and they don't have any streaming events going on, so that is that. Pretty underwhelming for Sunday preview, but then again, you know, they just got off the high of 30K, and last week was... God, they had a lot last week. I just can't remember. What was last week?
Warhammer Plus.
No, not Warhammer Plus. Sunday preview.
It was 30K. It was 30K and Chaos Marine Codex.
Yeah, that's what it was. Chaos Marine Codex. So,
But not Chaos Marine models. I have like battle forces for Chaos Marines combat patrols for Chaos Marines and Gene Stealers as
yeah.
well.
But last week, you know, they blew their load on everything last week. So it makes sense that this week will be a little bit underwhelming.
The paints are pretty exciting for I don't know, it's just more paints. Actually, I don't know. I actually don't know if it's that exciting. I mean,
This week is a slow week.
it's not.
It's tough to say, unless we're really looking forward to these new paints. This week was very slow.
Yeah, because it's not like a new thing. Because Contrast outsold Dark Imperium, but it was also this new kind of paint, not necessarily like new colors. Yeah, because new colors doesn't typically. Yeah, I wouldn't
It
say new
was...
colors is a big week. Yeah, this is definitely like a more chill week for pre-orders.
Well, contrast was the way they sold it was, you hate painting white and yellow and orange. Well, not anymore, because this
Yeah.
makes it so much easier.
Yep.
You just apply it and it's done, and it looks good. Except you have to do a little bit more touch up on work on it, but they didn't want to say those little details.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it'll just be the week of contrast paint. But moving on to something else, something I didn't see coming, even though I probably should have. AoS getting a battle box.
Dude, this is random.
This is random. I didn't expect a battle box. I mean, AoS news is so sparse that I forget sometimes that it's even there. Because I mean, we just had the Skaven and Sylvaneth box set come out, like last week, I think, if I recall correctly.
It was a couple of weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know in the roadmap there was something on the way, but I really couldn't remember the roadmap. But here we go, Arcane Cataclysm, where we got the High Elves, or no, not High Elves. What are they called now?
The Lumineth.
Lumineth, thank you. Lumineth and the Chaos Warriors, whatever they're called, Warriors of Chaos, fighting it up. And are these new models here? These horses? I don't remember
these
seeing
are not.
these.
These are not new models. Only the character. Actually, I really like the character model. That hair looks great. Uh, this is one of those characters where I would just pick this up to paint for like D&D or something because it's really well done. It's not too exciting. It just kind of works, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, it looks okay. I never liked how the Lumineth looked, so.
That's fair. Yeah, I do enjoy their aesthetic. Not by a lot, but I think it's neat.
Yep, we got that. We got the Chaos guy, Zinch, my boy.
It's a new model, new Curseling.
See, now I would pick this model up.
Yeah, that one's cool. It's a cool take on the classic model.
it's the little conjoined twin he's got there. Really sells it. That's it's just how Zinch rolls. All that body mutation.
Oh yeah.
But we got him. He's cool looking, and then of course we got Zanglers, which are bleh, but probably a lot different in AoS than they are 40k.
Oh, they're way better in AoS than 40k.
Yeah. Got that. We got the warriors. So nothing new, just new characters, which has usually been the trend with this release cycle. But usually they
Yeah,
give us like one new unit. So I'm surprised that they're just going for the characters.
yeah. They used to just do only characters, and then they did units for a bit, and then now they're just back to characters, which is unfortunate, but that's okay.
Well, from what I recall, Nighthawk got one,
Yep.
and Sylvaneth have
Sylvaneth.
gotten it. So I guess
Yep.
it's only been two.
Yeah, and I wish they do it more, but I guess not. That's okay.
Well, everyone wants new units, but I'm sure it's a little hard to balance out the army if they keep adding some new units to some factions.
Right.
But yeah, there we go. Arcane Cataclysm. Zinch versus Lumineth. I hope it sells. I do. Because I think AoS needs a little more love. Given that
We need
it's
another, we need
literally
another
in the shadows right
major.
now.
We need another major faction release.
You think that's the only way that AoS survives? Is just another, just major,
I
just
don't think.
faction
Yeah,
releases?
I don't think AOS is doing bad. AOS is doing really well. I mean, the game still outsells pretty much every other tabletop game that isn't 40k. But definitely in the war, as a Warhammer fan, it feels like it's not getting a lot of attention, which is totally understandable because there hasn't been a big faction release for a while. So I think it was Vampires was the last big remake for
Vampires
faction.
was huge. Yes.
Yeah, I forgot. No, it was Vampires, and then the new edition, Cruel Boys. Sorry, Vampires, Cruel Boys last year, and that was kind of it.
Or the Soul Blight, as they're called.
Yeah, since then hasn't been really any major. I mean, I guess Sylvaneth got a bunch of new stuff, but it was like a major faction rework or release. So
Yeah. Well,
I think humans will be exciting.
they're rumored this year, right?
Unclear if they'll be out this year. Hopefully, that'll be cool. But we didn't see, like World Eaters, we didn't really see any models for them. So
They were just mentioned, of course.
yeah.
Well, since we're on the topic of AoS, I figured we just mentioned this. Balance updates for the Mortal Realms comes. I'd go over this. Unfortunately, I don't really have anything to add to it because, again, I don't play too much AoS to really give any insightful comment on this. I don't know, John. I know you play AoS every once in a while. Have you had a chance to look at this?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I played Death, so looking at my factions, let's go over this really quick. So first off, Bone Reapers, you can get Necropolis Stalkers and Immortus. So like the multi-faced unit, they could be battle line if your general is a Bone Shaper, which that's cool. Flesh Eaters get a 6-up ward save. That's kind of it.
That's kind of it. Not even
Yeah,
my
for
Ghost
the
Boys were in here. What the heck?
yeah. So nothing really crazy. I mean, I'm sure in the competitive scene these are massive changes, but it's kind of neat for me right now.
As casual players,
Yeah.
you'd think these would be a lot more expanded, but
Yeah, I mean there was points changes for Slanesh, which is good because the army is terrible. And
Wait, what?
dude,
Slanesh terrible?
Slanesh is terrible. Slanesh is the biggest counter to the claim that if you're a new army, you're OP. Because Slanesh came out and it was just terrible.
I thought Slanesh, at least for a while, was like dominating everything.
So when the new Keeper came out, the army dominated, and then they got the new Mortal release. They got like a bunch of new kits, and the army just tanked in playability.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, they got a bigger release and ended up sucking. Like really badly.
Well, interesting to know. I thought they were
Yeah.
still doing a-okay.
Nah, they've been doing really badly in the competitive scene for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Which sucks because they have really cool models.
No, it's about time they got taken down a peg, I guess.
Yeah, they were kind of busted when the Keeper came out. Because they had that thing where if you get depravity points when you fight and do damage, and then you could summon more Keepers of Secrets using those points.
Mm-hmm. Well, that wasn't all the point changes that happened. Oh wait, no. I guess I transitioned that into poor thing because I have 30k next. So 30k actually. Um, you guys are getting another campaign mission.
Yeah,
The Word Bearers versus the Blood Angels.
I don't know how I feel about this because this is a new thing, but the old guys haven't been ported yet, which is annoying.
What do you mean?
So remember before the edition launched, they used to do this quite a bit, where they would
Yes.
release a campaign with new units. So none of those units have rules right now because they're all invalidated with the new edition. So here's a new unit, but you can't use the old stuff, and it's like okay.
Sounds like Forge World and GW not talking.
Well, it's the same people who make. I'm sure it's the same people who make this because yeah, it's the same rules and stuff. So yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't go back. No, I'm not saying this sucks. Like this is a cool new unit for Word Bearers. It's kind of fluffy. Essentially, they get bonus victory points for using sweeping advances because they harvest the organs of the slain. That's kind of cool. But it's
It's a unit that doesn't exist.
it's in one. It's in it doesn't exist, and we're still waiting for the updates to the old units that were released via this format. So yeah,
Well, how long do you think it'll take them?
I don't know.
It
It's
seems like
it's hard to
30k is
say.
in a full swing.
It's hard to say because they said we were getting Mechanicum. Sorry, not Mechanicum. We were getting not Solar Ox, Militia and Cults, Demons of the Ruinstorm, and the old units, the old Exemplary Battle units during launch in June. So June is. I mean, they could conceivably release it on the last day of June, which is this Thursday, which is Heresy Day. So that they could do that, right?
Well, they would
But they
announce
did
it.
say, they did say that it was supposed to come out during launch in June. So 4 days left. Well, 3 days, I guess.
3 days. 2 days when this gets posted.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, interesting. You would know more about that than I would because I would never have picked that up. That these people are not validated for the current edition.
Yeah. No, these word bearer guys are, but the older ones were not,
Mm-hmm.
which is the annoying part because again, they released a new unit that's valid, but they haven't validated the old ones. So
Well, interesting.
yeah, it is very interesting.
Well, to continue the trend of Heresy Thursday, hopefully I don't mess myself up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. The Dreadnought, Contemptor Dreadnought, I should say, finally being released on its own. in plastic and more variants.
Yeah, I mean, this was expected. Everything in that box, in the big box set, is coming on its own eventually. But it's cool that they revealed that the Contemptor will have more parts to it. So it'll have another sprue of options with weapon options and chest options, which is kind of neat.
That is good. I like it. Being able to get a Contemptor Dread, I mean, it'll still probably be expensive, but it won't be Forge World expensive. I
Yeah, it's
hope.
probably gonna be just like a Redemptor Dreadnought. I could see this being like $60 because there's just so much bits in it, and they're all magnetizable, which increases the value.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to this. Will I pick one up? Probably not. I won't lie. I probably will not pick this up.
I
But
don't know if I would. I already have so much Dreadnoughts. Also,
I
Dreadnoughts are freaking OP right now, but whatever.
you have enough. You're you can probably make another Legion with how much 30k you have.
That's true. They're all gonna be Blood Angels. Heck yeah.
But that's it for Heresy Thursday. Our Heresy in general right there. Heresy once again still eating very good. Given the fact that their box set is already released. So
Yep.
they're still going strong. But moving on to the actual thing I was talking about, Kill Team getting a balanced data sheet update as well, and they even gave a what is this, May's win percentage of what all the groups are doing.
Oh look, Eldar and Tau are kicking butt. What do you know?
You know, I'm actually surprised that Tau are kicking butt. Then again, I have not really looked at the Tau kill team, but I would not think Pathfinder units would be dominating so hard.
I guess they are.
Yeah, and of course you got Commandos, Hunter Clad, Warp Coven, and the Compendium. All, you know, it's not a huge despair. Maybe the Corsairs are a bit overtuned,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, not not that big of a despair, I would say. It just looks like the Commandos, the Hunter Clad, and the Warp Coven just need a little bit of a push to get them closer to that 50%.
Yeah.
Because now that I'm looking at it more closely, it's kind of a big gap when you look at
Yeah.
veteran guardsmen compared to commandos.
Yeah.
7%. Oof. Yeah. But they did do it. They did update it. Looking at this thing here. I can't really know everyone here, but I know that Thousand Suns have been replaced by the Warp Coven. So I assume that means that I can no longer take any Thousand Suns from the Compendium. I have to use the Warp Coven from now on.
If you play competitively, yes.
Only in competitive.
It's not like a rule thing. It's a recommendation. It's like, hey, if you're running a tournament, we recommend you only for balance purposes use this one, which makes sense.
Okay. Got it. Okay, and yep, and then everyone else getting their buffs and nerfs as needed. And it's all here on one page. All one nice convenient page. Compared to the next thing that we're about to look at, which is the point update for 40k. Now, have you taken a look at this, John? Because As a Space Marine player, well, I guess you're going to Black Legion now, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Anyways, Space Marine player, all your vehicles went down in points. Well, not all of them, but a majority of them went down in points. So I would say Space Marine players are eating well right now with that Armor of Contempt and all these new point changes coming their way.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, I'm gonna play Black Legion, but 30K is 30K, so
True. Well, I'll just go with what stood out to me. As someone who plays Eldar, Eldar got hit by Nerf Bat, of course, because they're Eldar. No one likes Eldar.
Yeah.
Let's see, I'm trying to remember. All our characters went up by 5 to 10 points, unless you're Barrow-Roth, who went up 20 points.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty strong. So
yeah, he's a monster. There's no denying that. Trying to find the Eldar page and I can't find it. Well, whatever. I know what it is. And most aspect warriors, pretty much every aspect warriors except for 2 that I can think of went up by either 1 or 2 points. Swooping Hawks went up by 2 points. Warp Spiders went up by 2 points. Banshees and Scorpions went up by 1 point. Fire Dragons went up by 1 point. So it's all minor changes, but they add up fast. I think I did a game Wednesday with the new points update.
Oh, okay.
And I made the current list with the new points, and then I made another list with what was in Battlescribe, because Battlescribe hadn't been updated by then.
Uh-huh.
The list I took, if I didn't have the points update, I would have had like 60 points to spend.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
That's one Rager unit I could have gotten. So I had
that's a lot.
60 points that went up in my army. Yeah, so it adds up. But I know Space Marines, oh man. All their vehicles, I think Land Raider went down like 30 or 40 points.
One thing I did notice for Black Templars, because that's the army I mainly play right now for 40K, is that the Power Fist for Crusader squads is now free. So that's kind of neat.
Oh yeah. My Thousand Sons? Oh my god. Magnus went down 30 points. Now, is Magnus going to be worth taking still? Probably not. But he's cheaper. So that's a plus.
Right.
Rubrics have Icon of Flame is now free. If you don't know what Icon of Flame does, Icon of Flame gives you +1 Cabal points. So basically making your rubrics 2 Cabal points per unit. Mm-hmm. So you can easily now get when I play them, I usually get 17 Cabal points. But now I don't have to spend the extra 5 points to get that. That's free. Warp Flamers went down by 2 points, and now they're 3 points a model. Weapon, and I think that's about it in terms of Thousand Sons. But that's still very nice upgrades for them. Oh, and then of course their vehicle options also went down in points, but whatever. I don't really like using the vehicles for my Thousand Sons. And that's all I can think of for point changes. Oh, and Dark Eldar? Guess what Dark Eldar got?
Nerfed.
No, they got buffed.
Oh, really? They actually got... Oh, well, yeah, I guess they weren't doing quite... They weren't doing too well recently in the competitive scene.
They got 1 buff. The witches went down by 1 point, and that was it. That's all they got. So there's that. And then in terms of everything else, I can't really comment on because I either didn't look into it or I didn't really care. But those are all the ones. Of course, the Harlequins got hit hard. Some Tau went up in points. Of course, you know, all the dominating armies went up in points. And then pretty much everyone else went down.
Right.
But of course, then there's the match play balance data sheet. I don't know if you took a look at this at all.
This one I did look into it a bit.
Okay.
Lots of buffs for guard. Good for guard.
Yeah, guard getting toughness 9, Lehman Russes. That's gonna be crazy.
That's pretty good. They get armor of contempt.
They get armor of contempt. Who else got good stuff? Orcs, Orc Wall.
Orcs. Yes.
Now being able to advance in charge, and they get +1 strength and +1 attacks. And
Also
have a 5+
buggy
invul
change.
save.
The buggy change.
The buggy change.
So they removed the limit of 1 unit of buggy. Oh, they kind of reworded it. So before it was you can only have 1 unit of each buggy, but now it's 1 model, so you could have 3 different squads of 3 buggies.
Get that. Let's see. Necrons. Necrons basically got core keyword on every unit, except for like Catans. So that's a huge buff.
Yeah, that's pretty funny how everything just got core.
Yeah. So I don't know how well that'll do, but I mean, you'll be able to reroll a lot more.
Yeah.
I guess I should talk about my Eldar. My Eldar got nerfed, of course. No surprise there. Key 1 being a stratagem. Fire and Fade, I think is what it was called. Let's see if I can remember. Yeah, Fire and Fade is now a once per game stratagem instead of being able to use it every turn. Which was, you know, you'd be able to shoot and then run away. At least I think that's what it was. The Craft World attribute, Hail of Doom, which was probably the most broken Craft World you could do for Eldar. It's still pretty good, but they toned it down a bit here. Pretty much making all shurikens, all shuriken shooting, 6s to hit, auto wound. And then I think they also got the attribute of the shuriken as well, so it'd be, you know, if you roll 6 to wound, it would be AP -3. So I think they toned it down a bit, but it's still a pretty good choice to go with. And then, you know, there's also Oathway you can go with. And that's pretty much it. I mean, there's the Empowered Storm Psychic action you can do. But that, you know, whatever. And then there's one more. I think there's one more big change out here. Not for Eldar, but I can't remember what it was. But anyways, yeah. If you're not a strong army, you're doing good. A lot of good positives coming your way.
Mm-hmm.
You're a strong army, You're still strong. You haven't been taken away, but now the games will be just maybe a little less easier. That's pretty much all I can say on that. But that is it in terms of the news for Warhammer. Is there any other article or something you want to talk about?
Nah,
No? All right.
pretty much it. Yep.
Well, obviously the Chaos book has leaked. I don't know if you've been looking at it or not.
I just heard it's really strong, which is great because Chaos Space Marines have not been strong for a while.
Abaddon is ridiculous.
Heck yeah, it
I
should
think
it should be.
I think everyone is saying he's the strongest named character in the game.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, of course it makes sense. He's
It's
empowered by
Abaddon.
all the gods. Yeah, I have his thing, his his stats pulled up right here. So, movement 6, weapon skill, but skill 2, obviously toughness and strength 6. Interestingly, 9 wounds. So you can screen him, which is hilarious given how big Abaddon is.
I mean, you could screen Guilliman, so
True. 2+ save, 8 attacks, 4 up invul save. So he'll be a strong strong boy. You can take him in any warband without breaking the warband special rule. So kind of like Gazgul.
Mhm.
Except, he primarily buffs Black Legion, but you can take him. He's still a good choice, and he'll probably be a must take in the competitive scene. He has the special rule where he can only take 3 wounds a round, a phase, I mean.
Yep.
And then he's got his 4 chaos buffs. +1 strength on the first round of melee, -1 the wound if the strength is equal or at least double the toughness. First failed save each turn becomes damage 0 and has the fight first special rule. That's all his marks of chaos right there. And then going by his weapon right here, he got his Talon of Horus, which will be the what is it? The Horde Clear. That's the one that will double his attacks. So 16 attacks with the Talon of Horus. And then how do you say this? Draknir? That is
Draknian.
sword. Yeah. Draknian, obviously the tank killer. It will strength +3, -4 AP, damage 3. And 6 is the wounds, cause D3 mortal wounds. So this is a scary choice, and he's only 300 points. The avatar, a beast that he is only 270 points now, I want to say. I'd have to look it up. But I'm pretty sure Abaddon would one-shot the avatar no problem.
I mean, yeah, considering how much damage he does. Plus, there's the stratagem that help to buff him.
Yeah. But I thought I'd just talk about how ridiculous Abaddon is, because it's ridiculous and I'm happy. I think the name characters should be good.
Yep, I agree.
But that's all I really wanted to talk about through the Chaos book. Go over the other stuff another time. But I guess we can jump right into hobby rants.
Yeah, let's do it.
What have you been up to?
30K. Painting more 30K. Played another game last weekend. Played a 600-point game. Learning the game more with my buddy. Fully painted. Blood Angels versus Sons of Horus. I did lose, but game was still super fun. Very cinematic. There's a moment where my assault squad charges tack squad. Praetors declare the challenge. Nothing happens. Or no, they don't do any wounds, but the squads kill each other, and I end up winning the combat. I do not get the sweeping advance, so he falls back. And next turn, I use a reaction to charge him in his shooting phase, but this time my Praetor does not wound the enemy Praetor, and he gets fisted in the face with a power fist. But that was just super cool.
My
So yes, it was
question to
great.
you,
Yes.
because I know in 7th edition, when you sweeped in advance a Space Marine, you basically just went back into combat. Is it the same thing?
No, they don't have that rule, so they just die.
Okay.
Yep.
I always hated that when I fought Space Marines, because you could never kill them in a sweep in advance. You always just went back into combat with them.
Mm-hmm.
I might be misremembering that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
No,
in 7th
no, you're
edition.
right. That's what it was, because they had and they shall know no fear, so they couldn't be swept. They just go back to combat, but
Yeah.
they don't have that in 30K. So yeah.
That's good. I like that. Oh, that's cool. Yep. Me, like I mentioned earlier when we were going over the point changes, I did play a 40K game with the new points update. It was me against Travis's what's the chaos warband? Iron
Iron
Legion?
Warriors.
Iron Warriors, there you go. Me against his Iron Warriors.
Okay.
And at first I was taking the lead, and then as soon as one poor round of shooting happened in turn 3, the whole game turned around, and my poor Eldar got swept. Because Lord of Skulls, thank God they're going up like 150 points or whatever, and no longer be able to benefit from the Chaos Lord's auras, because those guys.
People were saying when the points leak, oh, the Lord's Calls went so much, why it sucks, and now you know why.
Oh well, I mean, I fought Travis's Lord. He runs 2 Lord of Skulls. I fought that so many times. It's just like you either get one good round of shooting to kill one, or you just ignore them and you just go for the chaff unit, so you can't score any objectives. I mean, it's basically how I play, and I that's what I did. I killed one, couldn't kill the other one, but after that it was just like one failed round of shooting, of killing some Khorne Berserkers, and those Khorne Berserkers were going hog wild on my army. Because Farseer and Warlock don't like getting hit by chain axes, and everyone else doesn't like getting hit by chain axes either.
I'm sure.
But it was fun. It was a good time. A very swingy game that was.
That's good, right? Swing games are good.
Of course, no one likes a one-sided battle. But yeah, he pulled it off with his one wound Marines. Granted, he didn't have any Marines left at the end of the game, but I didn't have an army left either, so.
Oh, okay.
But it was good times. And I don't know what we're gonna do this week. Shadows of Brimstone, maybe. 40K. It all depends on who's gonna show up this week. But I'll let everyone know. All right then. Got anything else you want to throw out there before we close out?
No, I think that's it.
All right then. Well, everyone, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, help us out, and we'll see you next time.
Later, everyone.